Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. You're tuned into the only place where you can see the entire video game evolution flash right before your eyes. Welcome to October 1982. We were last playing Demon Attack, ported over to the Intellivision. Let's see what is next. It's time to go to MS-DOS, or PC-DOS, or PC Booter, or IBM PCs. We all lump it together right here in one place. This marks our 110th game we played on this platform. And this is Cribbage, only the hottest games here on Chronologically Gaming. That's right, Cribbage. This Cribbage version only has a couple screenshots, so let's just pop in and play some Cribbage on MS-DOS. This is by Ensign Software, the very first time we've seen this company, at some time in the beginning of October 1982. So, we're not going to play an entire game of Cribbage. We still haven't played an entire game of Cribbage here on the show. This is the 4th game or video game we've played, and this is the 12th Cribbage video game ever in the entire gamut. You can see it's by Ensign Software. Do we want to cut for deal? Sure, let's go. Enter number from 1 to 52. Let's make it 17. And there's our card. Oh, so we got a low card. Looks like we didn't get the first deal. So we can pick our discards. Here you can see we pick which ones we want to get rid of. We'll do those two. Yeah, if you've ever played an entire game of Cribbage, this would be the place where I'd be showing you how to do it. I know, right? But if you enjoy Cribbage and you had no one else to play with, then maybe this would be for you. We have played some pretty good ones that do the whole scenario of like playing in a team or 4 people. But this one you can see is very reminiscent of other card games that we played on MS-DOS or PC-DOS. It's showing our cards, our dealer, and our crib. Okay, so that's the only taste I'm going to give you for Cribbage. So there you go, Cribbage from 1982 for MS-DOS. Of all the games you could play right now on a home computer, there are better video games for sure, but if Cribbage is what you want to play and you got an IBM PC, it'd be all right. So still around the average range for all the games so far. I'm going to say 2.5 stars for all the video games on computers or home computers. So there you go, that's Cribbage for MS-DOS. We're off to an awesome start tonight. Let's see what's next. Oh, thanks, Paul. We're still playing on MS-DOS or IBM PCs. Our next game is Depth Charge. Let's check it out. Depth Charge we originally saw in arcades in September 1977, and since then there are 14 Depth Charges. This is the 14th Depth Charge that could be played after that arcade version. And as you can see, we only have a couple screenshots for this one. Let's just pop it and play some Depth Charge. This is by Jerry Kotler, maybe at some time in October 1982. The only reason I say maybe is because other sources don't have the developer, but yet Jerry Kotler's right here on the title screen. So I'll claim it's Jerry Kotler unless someone points it out that it's not. All right, it's Depth Charge. Is it anything like the arcade? Do we want to see instructions? Yes, we do. Object of the game is drop depth charges from the destroyer at the top of the screen and hit submarines scattered below. That would be a depth charge variant. A destroyer is at the waterline and moves toward the left. When it passes, it reappears on the right. And the game essentially is a ship that's moving across the screen, and you have to drop a depth charge and hit the submarines down below. There's 4 subs, and you're always going to be moving, and they're going to be moving across from you. You drop the depth charge pressing the down arrow key. You only can drop 4 depth charges at a time, and then after one of them explodes, and you can drop another one. And then it shows our scores. When a sub is hit, it'll reappear at some random location. Sometimes subs overlap. This gives you a chance to hit 2 with 1 charge. You get 4 passes across the screen with your destroyer. On the last pass, a bracket will appear in the upper left to alert you. If you manage to accumulate 200 points before that, and then, okay, it'll let you know. Do you want to see more instructions? No, it'd be the same instructions again. I know this version does seem that way, right, Marshall? That we're playing again with ASCII character mode. Like it's very early on. Look at this. It's the most primitive version of Depth Charge we've played, and we played some pretty primitive ones. So there you go. Just push down on the arrow key, and that drops the depth charge, which is registered by, I think, the letter O. Oh, nice. We got ASCII explosions of the subs. Too cool. Yeah, you didn't need a lot of patience. And this is another one of those DOS games that it depends on how fast your CPU is on how quickly the game runs. I originally booted this up with a 8 megahertz computer, and it was too quick. I had to bring it down to a 3.44, and that's what we're playing on right now, which is pretty close to what you'd be playing at the time. Yeah, ANSI character set. That's right. Thanks, Curtis. But you do get some PC speaker sound effects for the explosions, and this kind of game is going to start going out of style because the depth charge game like this is just very primitive. I'm only hitting one button to play the game. So the entire gameplay is pushing the right button at the right time, getting your input at the right time. Oh, yeah, that's right. Not 4.77. The actual megahertz. I don't have it on the top of my head. There we go. All the way. Nice. And there you go. The game continues. Repeat ad nauseum. Of all the games you could play right now on a home computer, man, that seems like we played something before 1977 when the trinity of home computers came out. I know, right? I'm not sure how to pronounce that one either. Yes, the whole depth charge genre is pretty much on its way out. There's a few video game genres right now that we've seen for a very long time, since 1971, and this would be one of those that's pretty much near the end. So I'm going to say of all the games you could play right now, it's around 1 star, maybe 1.5 stars. I'm seeing some kind ratings out there. Oh, yeah, thanks, Errol. So I was correct. 4.77 megahertz. Yeah, that was the original IBM. 1980 is around that range. So I'm seeing 1.5 stars from Obsidian Arcade, Brian North, and Errol. So if you had a PC right now, there's lots of other options you could be playing right now on the PC. But we rate everything across all home computers you could play. And I'm going to say this is right on the cusp between broken and bad, just because the gameplay is so simple and slow. Curtis is actually saying 2 stars. Very, very kind. Yeah, that's right. If your boss didn't catch you. So I'll go ahead and go 1.5. 1.5 stars of all the games you could play right now. It's still bad, slow-paced, but it is classic. If you wanted to call something classic right now in October 1982. All right, let's see what our next game is. Coming up next is our Atari home computer. We're going to play some Diggerbonk. I am not familiar with Diggerbonk. We're going to learn it and find out how to play it together. So here's the artwork we have. This is technically the manual for Diggerbonk. I couldn't find an official box for this game. And then we have some ads you would have seen at the time from magazines. It came out in a few different places, like originally came out for educational services, and then it was re-released by APX, or maybe Atari Program Exchange picked it up first, and then it was released later by Antic, and then also another company later. So it was a sleeper game. It took a while to live it up. No way! If someone familiar with this or knows about Diggerbonk, that would be great. Yeah, not that kind of bonk. Think way older. So you can see here the ad says it's only $29.95. And this boasts it's the first arcade-style game with continuous scrolling maze that never repeats. You have to guide your digger upward before it goes to the bottom of the screen. And we'll break that down a little bit more when we get to the manual. Here's another ad you would have seen in magazines, and Diggerbonk's on the far right side in the middle. It says another award-winning game by Steve Robinson. Challenges you to find your way through a continuously scrolling maze while avoiding some really strange creatures. Way to go, Steve. And there it is, one of the later releases by Antic. I believe this is 84, 85 is this 5 1/4 floppy disk. And there's an example of the screenshot. Looks very mazy. We did get a manual. Thank you, Atari Mania, for loading this up. So there it is, Diggerbonk. I guess that's who we're playing on our Atari. It's like a cartoon character. Nice. There we go, by Steve Robinson. Diggerbonk is a fast-moving single-player game that everyone will enjoy. Your goal is an alien who's landed on Titan, the moon of Saturn, and to clear a dangerous Titan mineshaft and collect the valuable Titan ore, so scarce on your home planet. So we're playing as an alien. That's cool. The mechanical digger will venture into the mine as you control his maneuvers from your console, displaying the mineshaft's dangerous tunnels. You score as Diggerbonk's creatures found throughout the mineshaft. So we're supposed to be bonking other creatures. Obtaining valuable ore, you have to avoid exploding bombs, the fog, and nasty purple gurgles, yellow blinkers, and the dreaded aqua chasers. This job requires the best of your alien judgment, skill, foresight, and strategy. You only need 16K RAM in your Atari computer and your Atari home computer, Atari joystick. There's how to load on tape or disc, and here it is. So this might be the first release. Educational software is the first one. Possibly. It also could have been Atari Program Exchange. So if the program is loaded properly, you'll see the title Diggerbonk at the top of the console. It shows us how to select difficulty. There's 9 different difficulty selections. And when you enter the mine, there's 2 ways to begin. You can press the start key on your computer, or you can press the red button. And then the scores begin. How do you play Diggerbonk? The object of the game is score as many points as possible. Haven't heard that one before. Indicating profits before Diggerbonk's inevitable demise. Points are scored by bonking as many aqua chasers, yellow blinkers, and other creatures as you can. So we're supposed to bonk everything. You can enter your own score every time you play and just get the higher and higher score. So here's all the creatures, danger, and escape in the game. Sometimes you'll find a white fog that's on the screen. This is the fog. It's harmless, except that it's difficult to see what you're going into because it's going to mask the maze. The orange whirlers are always safe to approach. Bonk them, you get 500 points. Fail to bonk them before you leave the screen, and you'll lose 500 points. The pulsing greenies will not only stop will not only stop your score from counting down, but they are worth 200 points. In addition, capturing one will give diggers special powers to bonk enemies for a short period of time. So it's orange and then green. They're all going to be just a few pixels on the screen, bear in mind. White and orange twinklers are worth 100 points if you capture them. You lose 101 points if you let them fall from view. So not only is there a score for what you bonk, but if you don't bonk certain things, you're going to lose points. So you kind of have to keep track of what to do and what not to do. For each twinkler you capture, you can knock your way through one wall. This could save the digger's life if he's trapped, for example. You can keep up to 255 of these guys to break through 255 walls. Avoid the bomb. One thing is for sure, it will explode. Don't get hit by the fragments. The bomb can also be helpful at times because it can blast shortcuts. So this means this is a top-down maze that's going to have you be able to manipulate the walls, which is kind of cool. The purple gurgle is one of the 3 enemies you will encounter. Stay away from this unless you've been empowered by a pulsing greenie to bonk the enemies. It's worth 1,000 points if you have the ability to knock it out. It's quite easy to pass the purple gurgle in a vertical tunnel because he usually takes to one side and he can take the other. So not only is this manual giving us the information about the enemies, it's telling us some tips of what to do when we approach them, which is kind of cool. The yellow blinker is another creature to watch out for. Like the purple gurgle, he's worth 1,000 points. If Digger bonks him while he's a solid color and he has a bonk power, but he's gone if the yellow blinker hits him when he's not protected. It's possible to pass him in a vertical tunnel if you're very careful. However, he changes direction frequently. So the Aqua Chaser's next. He sounds like an ominous beat. Consider this fair warning. He's very dangerous. He'll chase you at times, so stay away unless you have a bonk power, but he's worth 1,500 points dead. So other things to bonk, but only if you have the power up to bonk everybody. You also have the panic button, which is the red button on your Atari VCS joystick. It's actually a panic button. You can only use it once for each Aqua Chaser that you bonk. And there it is showing the panic button. Very cool manual for a home-brewish manual. You know, like it looks like it's typed up by a typewriter. Then it has a few other hints, like the wraparound feature, most mazes we've seen. They call it the sinkhole. And then you can also freeze, restart, and replay different things in the game. Down at the bottom of the manual, it gives us a quick reference. The fog is harmless. The orange whirlers are 500 points and makes your score decrease. Pulsing greenies give you 200 points, and it will stop your score from decreasing. And it gives you the ability to bonk enemies. Twinklers, when you get one of those, it knocks out one section of the wall. Avoid the bombs. Purple gurgles are enemies. Yellow blinkers are another enemy. Aqua Chasers are the most dreaded enemy, so you make sure you stay away from them. And you can see the panic button, what it does for you. They got some artwork too. I like that. That's a really nice touch. And then some other games from educational software. And I don't think we haven't seen any of those. No other games so far on Chronologically Gaming. This is the very first time we've seen educational software. So there you go. Everyone got it all down? Here you go. Let's pop in and play Diggerbonk by Steve Robinson, Atari Program Exchange and Educational Software at sometime in October 1982. This one marks our 350th game we've played on the Atari series of home computers. And for Atari Program Exchange, this one is our 52nd game from that. It already kind of looks like a VIC-20 game to me. You know, the top-down maze view, we've seen a lot of those on the Commodore VIC-20, but no, we are on the Atari home computer, and they weren't lying on the ads. This is the very first top-down maze game, like an arcade maze game, that is auto-scrolling. We've seen no other game that auto-scrolls. This is the very first across all platforms. You can take what they said as canon. So it's going through kind of like a track mode here, showing off a few of the enemies, what you're supposed to pick up, what you're supposed to bonk. There's the twinklers. I'm most likely going to forget all the names from the manual, but you can kind of get the idea of what this game is like. It's a maze game, but it's going to be auto-scrolling. All right, ready? Here we go. The game begins, I'm on the left side as the blue, and it's going to continue to move up. So you want to watch the maze. And I will tell you, first impressions are, we play a lot of maze games, and I don't think of them as not that big of a deal now. But whenever it's auto-scrolling, I'm very much paying attention to what is happening on the screen, how to move around. You can see we have a few different enemies. We got the purple one. Now that we bonked it, it's set. Oh, I picked up a twinkler, which means it's letting me knock a wall out if I need to knock a wall. Let's go. Oh, I touched the wrong wall, but make it to the next section. Let's get another twinkler right here. Slip through there. That'll let me break through. Oh, I touched the wrong one again. There's the bomb that went off. Knocks pieces of the walls away. So it has destructible environment. I wouldn't say freely destructible, because it has limitations. But I get vibes of playing other games where you play as a pixel. So I'm now on the right side of the screen, making my way up. The auto-scrolling feature, though, is pretty cool. You want to think more carefully about how to maneuver the maze. Okay, so if I can carefully move through here, that means I can break the wall and sneak to the next section. There we go. See, our score's ticking down, so I want to pick up one of the green ones, and now my score is stopped going down. And here comes the fog. It's rolling in. Now that I'm playing the game, it doesn't remind me of a Commodore VIC-20 game. Majority of those from this top-down view were tile-based. Yeah, I looked over in the chat. It's smooth scrolling. Plays really well. Got another twinkler. There we go. And, oh, I'll take a second one. Sure. And a third one. Yes. That one is the bomb. Get away from it. I think I can blow myself through this way. Maybe this is safe. Over on the far top right. So you have some of the enemies that you can avoid. And then this one is the one I'm going to pick up. And yeah, and it starts to lower my score. So I need to just go pick another one up. And then, boom. Pick the green up. And then my score stops going down. Really, really cool. This game is a refreshing change from all the other games we played that are top-down maze games. And it's not just the auto-scroll. The auto-scroll is a great element of the gameplay, but it's the fact that there's so many things to think about with the enemy types that it's a fresh idea. All right, so we're going to pick up another one of them, and that means our score is going to start dropping down, and I got to get another green as fast as possible. I'll just break through this wall. Pick it up. There we go. Nice. I know it does look like a giant player. It has to be, right? They scaled it, Marshall, to a larger size. The programming was done really well. There, the bomb went off. Now we got a better spot. Looks good. All right, so this means I can go here, get some more points. It's going to start counting down. No, it didn't. Yeah, it's all right. So we'll keep going here to the left side. Another thing to mention is the entire game is random. So every time you play this game, it's a different maze. All the enemies, all the items, everything is randomized, so you get a different experience every single time you play. When I was doing a couple play tests of it, I thought it would be the same maze and you just can memorize it, but no. Everything is randomized. Really, really fresh. I originally went into this thinking it wasn't going to be as impressive or as good, but Diggerbonk is very fun. All right, watch out. Bomb's going off. And you see the maze has blocked us completely off. I have to go to the right and make my way around to this side on the left. Uh-oh. And this one's monitoring the pathways. The AI of the enemies isn't incredibly intelligent. We've seen some better things here on the show, but even for the Atari home computer, but it still is a lot of fun. I know, right? Yeah, the difficulty of the game will be based on what you set it as. So it has 9 different difficulties. I just played as the base one. So you do have options of how quickly you want it to go and things like that. All right, so of all the games you can play right now, I actually am impressed with Diggerbonk. It looks not as impressive, but when you actually get into it and understand the mechanics of it, this is very fun. I'm actually thinking of starting the bidding at 3.5 stars, above average for all the games right now you could play on a home computer. I see Manly's throwing out 3.5. Obsidian's 3.5 too. Aerial's 3.5. Chiptune's even higher, 3.75. If I could do that, I am not able to. Steve's down with 3 stars. So of all the games you can play right now, easily 3.5 stars. And it's an easy game to pick up and play because you start to get used to the tropes of what the colors mean, things like that. Curtis is with me, 3 stars. Brian saying 3. Diggerbonk is 2 by Steven. And then 4. 1 star. Very nice. All right, so here we go. There you go. That's Diggerbonk. Let's see what our next game is after this commercial break.
The arcade sensation, and now you can play it at home.
Hang on, sweetheart, I'm gonna save you.
Now you can play Donkey Kong on your ColecoVision, Atari
I never
VCS,
pictured Mario
or
like that in the
Intellivision video
arcades.
game system. Donkey Kong has multiple screens.
Notice that they're
Just
showing the
like arcade
Coleco
game.
version on this ad.
Stop me, you stupid ape.
Play Donkey Kong on your ColecoVision, Atari VCS, or Intellivision video game system.
Don't worry, darling. I'll save you.
Yes, let's go save the Pauline. I don't think she's known as Pauline right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Donkey Kong for the Intellivision. Let's check it out. Starting with the box. Oh man, how do we get here? For all the official games for Donkey Kong, here is our current timeline. We saw Donkey Kong in the arcades in July 1981. And then Game & Watch had the Donkey Kong in June 1982. After that, we had the Atari VCS release in July 1982, and then the ColecoVision in August 1982. And then Donkey Kong Jr. was released in the arcades in August 82. This one marks our 6th official Donkey Kong game we've played here on the show. And besides the official Donkey Kong games, there are 24 variants or games like Donkey Kong that we've already played on the show across all platforms. And the most recent one we played was Beauty and the Beast right here on the Intellivision. So the box boasts it plays like the real arcade game. Yeah, we'll see about that. There's the arcade cabinet on the front, just like the other ones by Coleco. And, I mean, you got to admit, the ColecoVision version was incredible. Oh, Steve's already going 5 stars. I'm already hyped. I mean, if you already knew your friends that had ColecoVision, and you were like, I have only an Intellivision, let's get Donkey Kong, you would be so excited right now. The ape stolen Mario's girlfriend. Take her to the top of the steel fortress. Mario must get to the top to save her. Use the disc to maneuver Mario across the girders and up the ladders. As he runs, the ape throws barrels and prevents progress. Use a side button to get Mario to jump over the barrels. I know, right? Oh no, Donkey King. I don't think there's anything better than Donkey King, if you've seen that one. Let's see the other artwork for Donkey Kong on the Intellivision. It also came with this box, which is not for use on the Intellivision 2, and that's quite a bit of games we've seen that are not for use on the Intellivision 2. There's our overlay for Donkey Kong. Slide it over your Intellivision controller, and there it is on the Mattel Intellivision. The cartridge we're going to pop into our Intellivisions right here, and there you go. Awesome. Oh, I kind of blew it with showing the screenshot, but we'll get into it in a sec. The manual looks very similar to the one we saw on the ColecoVision. This one is the second time that Coleco has brought anything to the Intellivision after Carnival. So we've only seen Carnival by Coleco on the Intellivision. Didn't go so well. We got 4 different skill levels, 2 players. It's the only official licensed Donkey Kong game for Intellivision. In other words, they're basically saying this is not Beauty and the Beast, which is the other one we played. In Coleco's home version, the sensational arcade game, we have to rescue Mario's girlfriend at the top. And they keep saying Mario, Mario, but they don't really give the girlfriend's name. I think they only referred to her as the damsel in distress in the arcades. So this is how to get ready to play here with the correct setup on our Intellivision. And then the controls on our Intellivision controller, I think all we need is the side buttons, right? The keypad is just to select different things on the screen. So you kind of don't need an overlay to play this on Intellivision. The disc works like all the other Intellivision games. Here's the step-by-step instructions. You get 3 Marios or 3 lives. Oh, they show a screenshot, and it looks like the Intellivision screenshot with everything that's in the game. Thanks for telling us what it is, because I can barely make out who's Mario's girlfriend is in the game. There's Mario, the barrel, everything that remains on the side. Climbing the ladders, using the hammer power-up. Time's running out. Mario has the magic touch. Reach the top of the ramps. Donkey Kong takes Mario's girlfriend still higher. And then you go to the second level. Oh, there it is, the rivet level. Tells you what the rivets are. And chivalry's not dead. Grab the girlfriend's hat, purse, and umbrella before you rescue her. Make sure you get all of those. And then that's all it says. It says the fun never ends. When Mario removes the last rivet and takes the girlfriend to a higher level, the game continues and the action gets more and more challenging. Is that their fancy way of saying you're going to repeat the game over and over and over again? I know, right? We've already played the 2600 version, so it can't be worse than the gingerbread man Donkey Kong, right? And then it shows us how to start over with the several different points we can get. Very nice, legal mumbo jumbo, what have you. Let's pop in and play some Donkey Kong. This is by Coleco Industries and Nintendo at some time in the beginning of October 1982 on your Intellivision. I didn't credit the developer because Moby Games and a couple others said it was Gary Kitchen, but then I also had some other sources that tell me it was Frank Johnson that did this port, and then I had other sources that said some other people did the port of this one, so I'll just leave it as Coleco did the port. All right. So Donkey Kong, we want to go into, there we go, you just got to press the disc. I want to do a one-player game. If you do a two-player game, it's alternate play. And then what level do we want? Let's go with level 1. And go. Quaint. All right, we're in. I really don't look like Mario because I don't have the mustache. Whoa, but the movement of Mario feels a little slow. It doesn't feel... It feels different to move him around the screen. Considering we played lots of platformers, something feels different or off about this one. And at the top, look at the sprite of Donkey Kong. He almost looks even less drawn out than the Atari VCS version. Well, the jumping works. And they're cutting off a little bit of the music. It sounds like something's missing. All right, let's pick up all of the implements of destruction and get all of the princess's things. It does look like the Swamp Thing. And Mario doesn't fall in this one. I cleared the rivet and he just dies on the gap. All right, let's get the hammer. Oh, no hammer music? I think that was the same for the Atari VCS. Oh man, that was cheap. The enemy just pops in and kills me, even when I had the hammer. The hammer's useless. Don't even do it. Wow, I have never played this port of Donkey Kong until now. Of all the games we played here on the show, oh, that's right, I can't use the lateral. I got the hammer. I'm debating in my mind right now if this is actually worse than the Atari VCS version. Look at that. Oh man, the jump was a little slow. Oh, it was rough. They do look like floating embryos. No way, it's two levels. They're doing the two-level thing they did on the Atari VCS. So when we played this on ColecoVision, it didn't have the the pie level that it had in the arcades, and the only one that includes that we played so far at home was Donkey King, which is the king of all Donkey Kong games. Technically, we're considering that a variant of Donkey Kong because it's Donkey King, but this is doing only the two different levels of Donkey Kong like the Atari VCS, and it's going to just loop upon itself. Wow, and Mario's girlfriend's the same color as the girders. That's right, yeah, Curtis, it has all 4 of the levels. It's even better, it has more of the levels than the ColecoVision version. But this actually feels slower. Mario's moving slower and the gameplay feels slower or clunkier than the Atari VCS. While you could argue that it didn't look the same and you had minimal levels on the Atari VCS, the play control of Mario was smoother than this. Gosh, yeah, look, it doesn't feel... And bear in mind, if you were playing this on the Intellivision, you have to deal with the disc to move them around, so that's even worse play control. So what's going on? This is the second time Coleco ports... This is the second game we've seen on the Intellivision, and it feels like something's off. Like it was rushed too fast, or Coleco didn't think about the port before they did it. I am perplexed why this is so bad. And now I'm thinking of all the other platforms that are out there with other Donkey Kong variant games. Like King Kong, that's on the Atari VCS. This one feels like it's around the range of King Kong. That bad. And it's the gameplay. It doesn't feel fun, refreshing. Oh yeah, it's just clunky to move. Can be frustrating. And all the viewers that are looking and hearing the game, and of course, if you're familiar with the history, oh, we already had a game over. You can kind of see what it is that would be off, but if you don't experience it and play it yourself, you don't really have the best idea. But yeah, it doesn't respond every single time I move Mario around. Mario doesn't even look like Mario. It looks like I'm playing a different Carpenter. Oh yeah, Curtis has already thrown it out. 2 or 2.5 stars. At the most, for scores for everything you can play right now on a home console. That is low. I'm playing it for posterity, Obsidian Arcade. It's not that I can't stop playing, it's... I wouldn't have put it down, because the hype for Mario was huge. Or Donkey Kong was huge. And so if you had this game and you only had Intellivision, you would find yourself being able to enjoy the game. I mentioned when we played the Atari VCS version, that the lies of saying it plays or acts like the arcade, this one is even deeper of lying of what it is about the arcade. And even in the commercial, they were showing the ColecoVision version. They wouldn't dare show the Mattel Intellivision version. I know, right? The frames... It's so slow. Wow, so that's close. When we originally played the Donkey Kong on the Atari VCS, I said 3 stars of all the games you could play on a home console. And because it was playable, it still worked, but this one actually feels worse. And I can see now why some of the people in the chat are saying it's in the bad range of all the games you could play on a home console. I wouldn't call this broken, though. It's not down so low that it's a 1-star game. It's definitely subpar, but I would say even lower than that. Obsidian Arcade saying 2.5. Yeah, not what it promised. Manly's saying that as well. It's around the 2 to 2.5 star range of everything right now on a home console. You would find enjoyment on the Intellivision, but Chiptune's doing -1. Yikes. Yeah, I won't be as harsh. Because it's just strange that this plays poorly because of the port on Coleco, that the Coleco did. Yeah, I'm torn between 2 or 2.5. No, I'm going to have to say bad. It's not a subpar game. I say this is a bad game, bad video game to play. So I'm going to say 2 stars of all the games on a home console. Yeah. Thanks, Chiptune. Wow. That was a surprise. What is going on? I feel at some point the console game, the range of consoles in the games, sometimes I get these hypes where I'm like, oh, this is great. Console games are awesome. And then I have times like this, I'm thinking, what's going on? Something's foul in the state of the console world. All right, that's where we got to put our video game playing on pause. Sorry we ended on such a low note. Tune in next time on Chronologically Gaming. We're going to be going to Japan to play a couple of brand new arcade games. That's it for today, and like I always say, you don't mess with Jumpman. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.